Welcome back, everybody. This is my fence building masterclass. Gotta be honest, building fences is a very low skill level project. I'm going to try to answer some of the questions that were asked in the previous video. Most of those are already answered within the actual video, so I don't need to tell you twice. Make sure you watch the entire video to get all your questions answered. One that isn't answered in the video is why I didn't just chop the old post off and relocate new posts and dig new holes. A couple different reasons. One, the old posts came out so easy, and whoever built the last fence about 17 to 20 years ago used maybe a half of a 60-pound bag. There was a little bit larger than a bowling ball sized clump at the very top. So what they did is they dug a hole about the proper depth, filled it in with dirt, and then put a little bit of concrete around the top, and that was it. So I was able to pull out the old posts with a chunk of concrete and have myself a pretty decent hole already there. Another reason to reuse the old holes is so there's no discrepancies with the neighbor over property lines. I've got the pictures, I got the video. I can say, hey, I put the post exactly where the old ones came out. Here's the video footage to show that. Where I cut the concrete in that little patio there to remove the old posts, that's where the new posts got to go in. Your rails are 8 feet long, so you got to work with those constraints. I discussed that in the previous video where I removed the old fence. Well, it's not too far of a walk back to the trailer to get all this, but it is a hot one. 104 degrees today. Just taking a quick break from digging and mixing concrete to get caught up on some quotes and send out a few invoices. I'm able to do that straight from the job site from my phone because I'm using Jobber. Jobber's a CRM app. If you are in the home services industry, you're a handyman, a painter, or a fence builder, it is an essential tool to communicate professionally with your customers. A lot of my success has come from how professional I appear to my customers. Even if I'm not really that professional, at least I look like I am. I'm going to leave a link down in the description. It's going to get you 20% off for your first 6 months. If you're just getting started, you can use their core plan. I use the Grow plan, so check that link in the description. So all the posts are in. Came up a tiny bit short, the concrete. So I'm going to grab a 60-pound bag tomorrow and top off these other ones here. These are down over 2 feet. About 1,000 pounds of concrete going in here. This one here, it's an antique post. Probably went to a gate many years ago. That sucker is down in there. And if I dug this up, it would have just brought out a crater. It's on this neighbor's. So let's see how it falls inside their property. I'll let them worry about that. If they want me to pull it out, I'll pull it out. But posts are pretty darn good. Pretty darn lined up. All the way down. Perfect. So the grade goes uphill, and so does my string line. The rail will go on top of that string line. The phone overheated. Give you an update. Got my first 2 boards in. Got the new string line in. And here's how it's gonna go. It goes downhill to right there. Then it starts going uphill. From about here over, I'm gonna have to shorten them. And from about here to there, they're gonna be good. And then we'll see what happens going that way. But for tonight, I'm only going to here. So I may have described that wrong. I believe it goes uphill and then downhill. So what I'm doing is I flip these boards over upside down, hold them up to the string line to see how much I got to cut off. That's not worth me cutting off. So there's a hump this way that I will eventually get to and have to trim a little bit off. And I'm not taking that off. I'm going to answer some questions right now while I have the privacy. These are 1 5/8 inch tan wood and fence screws. This area does not require a mid rail, so it's a big waste of time and money to put it in. Here's how I'm cutting these, flipping it upside down, marking it, cutting it, and then put it right side up, and you're right on your pink line or whatever line color you choose to use. These things will never, ever, ever be this big again. No matter what, they'll never be this big. So there will be gaps here. In about 1 to 2 weeks, we will have gaps, and they will never, ever get this wet again. So they are going tight, tight. Any other questions? Hit me up on Patreon. Just giving a little in-prog update here. Getting into the bushes, and I probably don't have enough to finish. I'll probably get right over there and then finish that corner tomorrow or the next day. Almost got her done, just a few boards short. So tomorrow I'll come back, put these in, cut the post tops off, clean up, and that'll be it. Here's the back side of the gate. Closes perfect, is perfect for now. This is pretty heavy. It's gonna get lighter and lighter as it dries out. But that's how I build my gates. No problem so far. Got this little angle down to this bottom here. Should help keep this post from sagging in. I did reuse these old posts, and it took some creative blocking, especially to seal it in. Got a stop block so that it doesn't over swing and slam and rip things off. Here's what it looks like from the other side. Got all the posts trimmed to the top rail. Here's how it's finished off at the shed. Just a board screwed to the shed and top and bottom rail, real easy. So I know there is an obvious section of this fence missing, and that is me building the gate. Well, the camera kept overheating. It was consuming too much time for me to try to cool the camera down, get it back out, and get the clips. This project has a ridiculous amount of gates, and I've got 2 other gates already filmed and ready to go, and one of them I took more time, and that'll be a specific fence gate building video. Another masterclass from the Handyman. I've been building fences on and off for about 15 years. I've built vinyl fences, metal fences, chain link fences, and a whole bunch of wood privacy fences. This specific fence is all pressure treated lumber from Lowe's. The fence pickets are kind of a tannish, yellowishy color. That'll last about 2.5 to 3 years. And then at that point, you're going to want to seal it up. I think I already talked about why I only went with 2 rails and not 3. These old houses are surrounded by these mid-rise buildings, and you won't ever get any sort of wind in there at all. Pricing! That's probably the biggest question, is how much did I charge? Now, it's evolved over the years. You know, how hard is it to build? This one was pretty easy. How far do I got to carry the bags of concrete to get to where I can mix it? So for 50 feet with 1 gate, that's going to be $3,500 in labor. That didn't include the removal. I charged $1,500 for the removal. The materials were just under $1,000 for this section of the fence and the 1 gate. Now there were 1, 2, 3 other gates that I had to build that were additional costs, and I kept that out of this pricing just to make things simple for you. If you got questions, put them down in the comments. Might be wondering how long did it take me. I was working on this in the evenings because it was so hot. I broke this up. It took me 1 week working 3 hours in the evening. So you can do the math on that. Doesn't take very long at all, especially when the holes are half dug for you already. If you got more questions, hit me up on Patreon. That link will be under the jobber link. That jobber link will get you 20% off for your first 6 months. Got another interesting video coming out tomorrow that some of you might be interested in. Things are really heating up here around the Handyman's workshop. It's always been a little wild, but this summer, man, if you're curious what I'm talking about, make sure you watch tomorrow's video.